Australian being the small country that it is, I guess we don't necessarily have, the client base or the market base to spend money on marketing and production and tooling and all those kind of things. So in 2000, a group of us known as the Melbourne Movement over to Milan for the first time, and this kind of opened my eyes up to the world of furniture and world of design and what's possible. The Melbourne Movement was really set up as a Melbourne-based collective of young designers, people like yourselves in the room, who have realistically only got one or two strong pieces, and to show them collectively as a group. And I think this is a really, really fantastic idea, and something that the peers and industry in Melbourne is extremely successful of, the fact that we all seem to be helping each other. This was the first piece that I kind of did that opened a few doors for me overseas. But it was basically based on the sun, a floating light in the air. I think I did this in about 99, 2000. And it then became a balloon that was filled with helium and a light globe that floated through the air. It got me over to my second trip and my first proper design trip to Japan, which for me has been a massive influence, and I head back and spend about a month there every year. As a production piece, it wouldn't actually work because the idea is that it's a helium balloon filled with helium and a light globe. And the simplicity of it when I did it was that the light globe would actually burn the rubber and go to the ground and die. And you couldn't really sell that. However, the Japanese, the exhibition where it was at, Tokyo Designers Block back then was when I was on, and they marketed it on a different spin of the fact that it was to be marketed as one night of happiness. And basically the idea was that you put it in the room and then by the next morning it was gone. And I guess that's a really foreign concept for us, or back then it was the fact that you'd buy something just for one night. And, I guess for me personally, spending so much time as a foreigner in Japan, I've got to know the fact that they work so hard, and when they switch off, they really appreciate everything that they're given. And so something like this was quite interesting, as a concept to myself as a young designer. I personally don't smoke, but all of my friends smoke, and they're always asking for lighters. So this concept was to actually have an ashtray with a candle in the middle of it, so you've always got a light for your cigarette. Now, a lot of people say to me, well, aren't you trying to stop people smoking, and isn't it slightly, a nasty thing and a non-moral thing to do? But my answer is that I've spent enough time around smokers to think that my life's been decreased by passive smoking, that I can at least profit off of them doing the same, which isn't so nice, but anyway. What's this one? This is a side table that becomes a box, a desk as such. When you exhibit overseas, you kind of get your little 4x4 or your 8x8 space, whatever, if you're exhibiting on your own, and you have to do the most of it. And this was a silly little thing that I kind of did as a joke to sit in, and sadly was the most popular thing that I actually had there, which we all find quite amusing. High-end flat-pack furniture. Everyone thinks of flat-pack, they automatically think of IKEA. This concept here is for a different arrangement, let's go back one, of tables that just use the one leg, so it cuts down in tooling, packs flat, and you can come up with a whole different setting, goes together like that, of round, square, whatever tables, just from the one base leg and a different section of tools. I think we're incredibly lucky in Australia from the fact that although we don't have a large manufacturing base, we have a very, very unique boutique manufacturing sector as such. There are fantastic small production houses that can do brilliant fiberglass work, fantastic, engineering, metal work. And, the possibility of using these things, we go overseas and people say, oh, how can you make that? You go to China, oh, we can only make 1,000 of them, we can't make 5 of them. And they can't understand how we can, do such good work here, workmanship-wise. Being young designers in Australia, we're incredibly lucky from the fact that we haven't been pigeonholed in design. You look at most people, you think Scandinavian design, you automatically think, blonde woods, different things like that. You think the British movement, you automatically, think of the things that have happened in the last, 10 years of the new punk era or whatever in furniture design. You think Australian design, internationally, people tend to only think of amazingly worked out concepts by young Australian designers, purely from the fact that we have to try and hit that level because we're so far away to actually stand out from everybody else. So I think we're incredibly lucky